Hello, and thank you for joining us for the inaugural year of the Innovations in Education Conference hosted by McMaster University's Paul R. MacPherson Institute for Leadership, Innovation, and Excellence in Teaching. My name is Kim Dye, and I'm the Acting Vice-Provost faculty here at McMaster University. I'm joined by my friend and colleague, Lori Goff, the Director of the MacPherson Institute. Together, we want to take just a few moments to welcome you to this exciting new conference and to provide you with some of the context for how this conference came to be and why we've chosen this approach to exploring the theme of partnerships and their many forms this year.
Thank you, Kim, and welcome everyone. We're so pleased that you've taken the time to join us this year. We recognize that time is a valuable resource these days and so appreciate your support as we're working to launch this new conference and to bring you content and programming that's truly relevant, valuable, and exciting. For many years, the MacPherson Institute has offered separate conferences to explore scholarly teaching or the research on teaching and learning, quite distinct from showcases and symposia that we've offered on learning technologies. But through the last 21 months, I think we're at now, we've learned firsthand how interconnected scholarly teaching and learning technologies are in our everyday work and teaching. They've become intertwined in our practice, and over the next couple of days, we'll be exploring some important questions. What have we learned? What has worked? What hasn't worked? How do we retain and reimagine some of the benefits and our approaches to in-person learning as that returns? These are questions on many minds, and mine too, but the answers aren't going to be found by ourselves and in isolation. They'll be found by connecting with colleagues and learning from each other's experiences.
Yeah, at McMaster, we entered into the pandemic in a unique position because it was also the beginning of our journey in articulating our very first teaching and learning strategy. The uncertain and at times challenging shift of teaching and learning to a completely virtual environment forced us to ask some really important questions about what post-secondary education would or could look like in the future. Developing a strategic plan amidst a pandemic afforded us the rare opportunity to approach the project while already standing outside of our pedagogical comfort zone. It allowed us to consider questions and concerns we may not have thought about had we not been in the midst of these extraordinary circumstances. Barriers had already been dismantled by necessity, and so we had this rare opportunity to build a strategy unfettered by inertia. 2020 was also a time of heightened conversations about social justice and global equity. Students, faculty, and staff were looking to enact change and to integrate local and global issues into their curriculum. The conversations we had in spring and summer of 2020 informed our partnered in teaching and learning strategy in really important ways. After much collaboration and discussion with our campus partners, we launched our new partnered in teaching and learning strategy in the spring of 2021.
Oh my gosh, in both of those experiences, responding to the pandemic and developing this strategy, we've engaged with our community and really experienced firsthand how important these connections are. We're recognizing these new interconnections between scholarly teaching, educational technologies, interdisciplinary learning, equity, diversity, inclusion, learning spaces, and how all these interconnections ultimately impact student experience. We've learned how our colleagues were adapting to their unique circumstances that they've been facing, and that there's many ways to have impact in our work. Impact can be measured through number of downloads of a published journal article, of course, but through this pandemic, we've seen a lot of reach and huge impact through much more informal practices around sharing our stories. We've been engaging in conversations with people about the things we're struggling with and about ideas that we're trying to navigate pedagogical challenges. It's really been through these shared experiences, collaborative idea generation, the encouragement to try something new, to take risks, to find the courage to maybe fall flat at times or fail outright. It's in those moments, though, of connection and courage and vulnerability where we've seen tremendous growth and impact. There's many ways in which we can exchange our stories and learn from each other, and we've seen this come out. We are engaging together here today to share some of these stories in this conference, of course, but we can also do this through other means like podcasts and blogs and vlogs. So whether it's the small victories that we're overcoming, minor hurdles, or bigger wins to address larger scale challenges, in many cases, successes have been enabled by building partnerships, seeking connections across campus, and learning from colleagues within McMaster and beyond.
Yeah, and with these experiences and our reflections on these experiences, we began planning for our annual conference. And it felt kind of disingenuous to continue doing what we had always been doing, but instead we chose to reimagine our approach to launch a new event that truly represented the spirit of teaching and learning that we have gone through over the past 2 years, and to emphasize the role that partnerships have played in making this all possible. Laurie, your emphasis on impact really resonates with me. The impact of one's pedagogical experimentation may come from sharing a story with a colleague in the office next door or across campus. It might come from a formal presentation or paper, as you say, but it might also come from informal opportunities through social media or through sharing a coffee. As all of you attend these sessions throughout the conference, please remember that that impact has a broad definition. Impact is to have a strong effect on someone or something. Don't be afraid to share your stories of success or of failure, both big and small. We learn so much from telling our stories to one another. They inspire and encourage others to innovate and experiment as well. This is how we learn and how we grow as educators. It's how we can extend the impact of one person's experience to a network of engaged professionals. We are sincerely honored that you've chosen to join us this year and share your stories. We hope that you find the programming helpful, the connections valuable, and the experience impactful.
Welcome to the 2021 Innovations in Education Conference. We look forward to seeing you.